Hello everybody, welcome to my channel.
Jermaine Jackson, born December 11, 1954, in Gary, Indiana, USA, is an American singer, songwriter, bassist, and record producer best known as a member of the legendary Jackson family and as one of the original members of the Jackson 5, one of Motown's most successful acts. Over a career spanning more than 5 decades, Jermaine has distinguished himself both as a performer and as a key figure in shaping the musical legacy of his famous family. Early life and rise with the Jackson 5. Jermaine was the fourth of 10 children born to Joseph and Katherine Jackson. Like his brothers, he was introduced to music at an early age. Initially, Jermaine played guitar before switching to bass, becoming the original bassist and co-lead singer of the Jackson 5, alongside his younger brother Michael Jackson. The Jackson 5's signing with Motown Records in 1969 marked the beginning of a pop phenomenon. Their debut single, I Want You Back, was followed by a string of hits including ABC, The Love You Save, and I'll Be There. Jermaine's soulful voice complemented Michael's energetic lead, and his bass playing anchored the band's sound. Solo career and Motown loyalty. When the Jackson 5 left Motown for Epic Records in 1975, rebranding as the Jacksons, Jermaine chose to stay with Motown, partly out of loyalty to the label and also because he was married at the time to Hazel Gordy, daughter of Motown founder Berry Gordy. This decision created temporary tension within the family, but Jermaine pursued his solo career with determination. His early solo albums, such as Jermaine, 1972, and Let's Get Serious, 1980, showcased his versatility and smooth R&B style. The title track of Let's Get Serious, produced by Stevie Wonder, became one of Jermaine's biggest solo hits, earning him a Grammy nomination and solidifying his reputation as an artist in his own right. Reuniting with the Jacksons, Jermaine later reunited with his brothers for several projects, including the 1984 Victory Tour, which became one of the largest and most talked about tours of the decade. He also appeared in various Jackson family specials and television events, continuing to celebrate their shared musical heritage. Later career and public life. In the years following Michael Jackson's passing in 2009, Jermaine became one of the most vocal defenders of his brother's legacy, often appearing in interviews and documentaries to preserve the truth about Michael's life and artistry. He has also participated in reunion performances, tribute concerts, and international tours. Jermaine has explored a variety of genres over his career: R&B, soul, pop, funk, and even Middle Eastern influences after his conversion to Islam in 1989. His global outlook and spiritual depth have defined much of his later work. Personal life. Jermaine's personal life has often been in the public eye. He has been married several times and has 7 children. Despite the challenges and controversies that have occasionally surrounded the Jackson family, Jermaine has remained a stabilizing figure who continues to celebrate unity, music, and faith. Legacy. Jermaine Jackson stands as both a founding pillar of the Jackson 5 and a talented solo artist in his own right. His silky voice, musicianship, and enduring devotion to family and faith make him a distinctive figure in American music history. His contributions to the Motown era and beyond help shape pop and R&B as we know them today. Solo career and musical evolution. Jermaine Jackson's solo career reflects both artistic ambition and a deep connection to his Motown roots. After remaining with Motown when his brothers moved to Epic Records, Jermaine carved out a distinctive identity as a smooth R&B crooner with a sophisticated sound. His debut self-titled album, Jermaine, 1972, produced by Motown's in-house team, offered a mix of soulful ballads and dance tunes that established him as more than just a member of a famous group. However, it was the late 1970s and early 1980s that truly defined his solo success. His 1976 album My Name Is Jermaine continued his momentum, but it was Let's Get Serious, 1980, that marked his breakthrough. The title track, written and produced by Stevie Wonder, became a major hit in the US and UK, earning Jermaine critical acclaim and a Grammy nomination for Best Male R&B Vocal Performance. The album also produced hits like Burnin' Hot and You Got to Hurry Girl. He followed up with Jermaine, 1980, and Let Me Tickle Your Fancy, 1982, which featured collaborations with Devo and saw him experimenting with funk and electronic pop influences. These records demonstrated his willingness to innovate within the R&B framework, blending old-school soul with new wave rhythms. Jermaine's 1986 single, Do What You Do, from the album Jermaine Jackson became an international hit, reaching top 10 in several countries and showcasing his ability to balance sensitivity and sensuality in his performances. Another major success from that period was When the Rain Begins to Fall, a duet with actress Pia Zadora, which became a #1 hit in Germany and across Europe. Relationship with Michael Jackson and the Jackson family. Jermaine's relationship with his brother Michael Jackson was complex, marked by love, rivalry, and deep mutual respect. In the early days, the two often shared vocal leads, creating a dynamic contrast that helped define the Jackson 5's sound. However, as Michael's solo fame skyrocketed in the 1980s, Jermaine sometimes struggled with the intense spotlight his younger brother commanded. Despite moments of tension, Jermaine consistently defended Michael in public. After Michael's death in 2009, Jermaine emerged as one of the most outspoken protectors of his legacy. His deep grief and admiration for his brother were evident in public statements and his 2011 memoir You Are Not Alone, Michael, Through a Brother's Eyes, which provided an intimate and humanizing portrait of the late superstar. The Jackson family's story, of unity, ambition, and resilience, has always included Jermaine as a central voice. His faith, discipline, and loyalty to his parents' values made him one of the emotional anchors of the family. Conversion to Islam and later work in 1989, Jermaine Jackson converted to Islam after a visit to Bahrain, finding peace and spiritual direction in the faith. His conversion had a profound influence on his worldview and later work, shaping his music and his approach to life. He became known for promoting cross-cultural understanding and often spoke about how faith gave him stability amid the pressures of fame. During the 1990s and 2000s, Jermaine continued performing internationally, especially in Europe, the Middle East, and Asia, where he retained a strong fan base. He also appeared in reality shows and documentaries, including Celebrity Big Brother UK, 2007, and The Jacksons, A Family Dynasty, 2009, offering fans a glimpse into his life offstage. Legacy and cultural impact. Jermaine Jackson's influence extends beyond his music. As a singer, bassist, and performer, he helped define the Motown sound that shaped generations of pop and R&B artists. As a solo artist, he embodied the sophistication of 1980s soul music, bridging traditional Motown elegance with the modern, synth-driven sound of the era. He also represents the heart of the Jackson family's enduring legacy, balancing fame with faith, creativity with conscience. His artistry, both collective and individual, continues to inspire musicians across genres who value emotional authenticity and musical craftsmanship. Jermaine's contributions, whether as the smooth harmonizer behind Michael's explosive leads, or as the soulful voice of Let's Get Serious, are essential chapters in the story of modern popular music. He remains a living link to one of the greatest musical dynasties in history. Discography and musical contributions. Jermaine Jackson's discography showcases a balance between commercial R&B, heartfelt balladry, and cross-cultural experimentation. His catalog spans over a dozen studio albums, numerous singles, and a broad array of collaborations with artists from the US and abroad. Studio albums highlights Jermaine, 1972. His debut album with Motown introduced his warm, soulful tone and included tracks like That's How Love Goes. It established Jermaine as a solo force distinct from the Jackson 5. Come Into My Life, 1973, expanded on his romantic themes with lush orchestration and smooth arrangements. My Name Is Jermaine, 1976, marked a move toward more polished R&B and funk production. Let's Get Serious, 1980, a critical and commercial success, featuring the Stevie Wonder-produced title track that became Jermaine's signature hit. Jermaine, 1980, showed his versatility and included the hit, You Like Me Don't You? Let Me Tickle Your Fancy, 1982, featured new wave and funk elements, notably collaborating with the band Devo on the title track. Jermaine Jackson, 1984, his most commercially successful album outside Motown, including hits Do What You Do and Dynamite. Precious Moments, 1986, continued his pop R&B crossover appeal with I Think It's Love. Don't Take It Personal, 1989, featured the soulful title track, blending classic Motown melody with late 1980s production style. You Said, 1991, a more mature work, exploring themes of commitment, love, and family. Jermaine's musicianship as a bassist deserves recognition as well. His bass lines grounded the Jackson 5's energetic performances, contributing to the rhythmic foundation that helped define their legendary Motown groove. Collaborations and global appeal. Jermaine's duet, When the Rain Begins to Fall, 1984, with Pia Zadora remains a standout of his career. The song became a massive hit across Europe, proving Jermaine's international reach beyond American markets. He also collaborated with Whitney Houston, LaToya Jackson, and other artists throughout the 1980s and 1990s. His later work included international tours, charity events, and collaborations with global artists, particularly in the Middle East and Asia, where he found both artistic inspiration and spiritual connection after embracing Islam. Awards and recognition. Throughout his career, Jermaine has earned several honors and nominations. Grammy nomination for Best Male R&B Vocal Performance, 1981, for Let's Get Serious. Multiple American Music Award nominations for his solo work. Recognition from Soul Train Awards and Billboard for his enduring contributions to R&B. Honors from international cultural organizations for his advocacy of peace and unity through music. While Jermaine never sought the level of global fame achieved by his brother Michael, his consistency and artistry earned him respect from peers and critics alike. Later life and humanitarian work. Beyond music, Jermaine has devoted significant time to humanitarian efforts. He has supported causes related to children's welfare, world peace, and intercultural dialogue. After his conversion to Islam, Jermaine became a bridge between Western entertainment and the Muslim world, emphasizing compassion and understanding. He has also served as a cultural ambassador in various international events, often performing at global peace concerts and charity galas. His 2011 autobiography, You Are Not Alone, Michael, Through a Brother's Eyes offered deep insight into his family's journey, from poverty in Gary, Indiana, to global superstardom, and reflected his personal commitment to truth and healing. Influence and enduring legacy. Jermaine Jackson's influence can be heard in generations of R&B and soul singers who followed him. His vocal phrasing, emotional delivery, and ability to move between romantic ballads and dance tracks set a standard for the genre during the transition from Motown's classic era to modern R&B. He remains a figure of dignity, faith, and resilience, having weathered family turmoil, public scrutiny, and shifting musical trends while staying true to his artistic and spiritual values. In interviews, Jermaine often emphasizes the power of love and family, core themes that have run through his entire career. Whether as the steady voice behind the Jackson 5's joyful harmonies, the smooth crooner of "Let's Get Serious," or the reflective older brother preserving Michael's legacy, Jermaine Jackson embodies a rare combination of talent, loyalty, and integrity in popular music. Jermaine Jackson. Later life and recent years. In the 2010s and 2020s, Jermaine Jackson has continued to be an active and respected figure in music and cultural circles. Jermaine Jackson. Later life and recent years. In the 2010s and 2020s, Jermaine Jackson has continued to be an active and respected figure in music and cultural circles. Even as he has gradually reduced his touring schedule, his later career has been defined by reflection, legacy preservation, and selective performances around the world. Performances and touring. Throughout the 2010s, Jermaine focused on international concerts rather than mainstream American tours. He performed across Europe, Japan, Africa, and the Middle East, often emphasizing musical heritage and cultural connection. In 2019, he appeared in Japan for a special orchestral concert celebrating Motown's 60th anniversary. Performing with a 47-piece orchestra, a symbolic gesture that tied his past with Motown to a new, global audience. That same year, he held several performances at Blue Note Tokyo, an intimate setting that showcased his smooth vocal style and appreciation for classic soul and jazz. Before that, Jermaine had taken part in events such as 40 Years of Jackson Music in Las Vegas in 2010, a tribute to the family's musical legacy, and performed at international jazz festivals in Nigeria and Dubai. These concerts highlighted his enduring stage presence and the universal appeal of the Jackson 5's timeless songs. In recent years, Jermaine has expressed a wish to focus on celebration and reflection, rather than constant touring. He has stated that performing now is more about honoring his family's music and connecting with fans emotionally than about chasing new chart success. Writing and creative projects. In 2011, Jermaine published his acclaimed memoir, You Are Not Alone, Michael, Through a Brother's Eyes. The book offered an intimate and heartfelt look into his relationship with his younger brother Michael Jackson, their shared childhood in Gary, Indiana, and the complexities of life within the most famous musical family in the world. The memoir was praised for its honesty, warmth, and deep affection. Jermaine also developed a stage show titled You Are Not Alone, the musical in the early 2010s, performed in Europe. The show blended live music, storytelling, and visual elements, allowing Jermaine to pay tribute to both his personal career and his family's broader cultural impact, legacy, and humanitarian vision beyond performance. Jermaine has spent much of the past decade working to preserve the Jackson family's musical legacy. He frequently speaks at cultural and educational events, promoting music as a unifying global force. He has supported efforts to create performing arts academies for young talent, particularly in Africa and the Middle East, inspired by his belief that music can empower and connect different cultures. His conversion to Islam in 1989 continues to influence his perspective and values. Jermaine often emphasizes compassion, spiritual growth, and gratitude in interviews, viewing his faith as a foundation for both personal peace and artistic clarity. In recent decades, he has served as an informal cultural bridge between Western entertainment and Muslim audiences worldwide. Family role and public appearances. Jermaine remains one of the most visible members of the Jackson family. He regularly appears at family tributes, memorial events, and documentaries celebrating the Jackson 5 and Michael Jackson's legacy. His deep voice and thoughtful manner have made him one of the family's most trusted spokesmen, often representing them in interviews and public statements. He has also been a central figure in reality and documentary projects, including The Jacksons, A Family Dynasty, 2009-2010, which gave audiences a glimpse into the family's lives after Michael's passing. Despite occasional media attention surrounding the Jackson family, Jermaine has often been seen as a stabilizing and dignified voice among his siblings. Current life and perspective. As of the 2020s, Jermaine Jackson lives a quieter but active life, dividing his time between family, spiritual reflection, and selective creative projects. He continues to record occasionally and has hinted at possible collaborations and archival releases celebrating the Jackson legacy. Jermaine's later years reveal an artist at peace with his past, proud of his contributions, and focused on values that transcend fame. His life is now less about chart success and more about continuity, remembrance, and gratitude, values that mirror the timeless quality of the music he helped create. A lasting legacy. Jermaine Jackson's journey, from the bright lights of Motown to the reflective calm of his later years, illustrates the evolution of a true artist. He stands as a bridge between eras. The disciplined, joyful spirit of 1960s soul and the introspective maturity of a man who has lived through both triumph and loss. Today, Jermaine remains a symbol of musical heritage, family unity, and enduring artistry, an essential part of one of the most influential musical dynasties in history. Jermaine Jackson, influence, musical style, and legacy. Musical style and artistic identity. Jermaine Jackson's artistry has always been defined by elegance, emotional warmth, and musicianship. His sound bridges the exuberance of classic Motown soul with the sophistication of 1980s R&B and pop. As both a vocalist and instrumentalist, he brought refinement and subtlety to the Jackson family's musical palette. Vocally, Jermaine possesses a smooth baritone, rich, expressive, and romantic. While his brother Michael became known for high-energy showmanship, Jermaine favored control and nuance. His phrasing often carried a quiet intimacy, drawing listeners in through feeling rather than power. Songs like "Do What You Do," "You Like Me Don't You," and "Let's Get Serious" are perfect examples of his understated sensuality and emotional sincerity. As a bassist, Jermaine was one of the Jackson 5's earliest musical anchors. His rhythmic instincts, honed through countless rehearsals in the family home, became a foundation for the band's tight grooves. On stage, his combination of bass playing and harmony vocals gave the Jackson 5 a musical depth that set them apart from many pop acts of the era. Jermaine's solo work also reflected his curiosity as a musician. He experimented with funk, disco, balladry, and electronic sounds. His collaborations with Stevie Wonder, Devo, and Whitney Houston show his openness to blending traditional R&B with modern innovation. Unlike some artists who chased trends, Jermaine often refined them, turning contemporary styles into vehicles for genuine emotion. Influence on future artists. Jermaine Jackson's influence can be traced through several generations of R&B and soul artists. His refined romanticism and smooth vocal tone foreshadowed the sound of 1980s and 1990s quiet storm R&B, paving the way for artists like Luther Vandross, Babyface, and Maxwell. His blend of spirituality, sensuality, and grace became part of the emotional vocabulary of modern soul music. Younger artists have cited the Jackson 5 as a core inspiration, and Jermaine's musicianship is often acknowledged by those who admire their early sound. Bassists and harmony singers especially recognize his contributions to the band's structure. Even in Michael's solo work, Jermaine's influence lingered. Michael once said that Jermaine's discipline and tone taught him how to control his own voice in the studio. Jermaine also impacted global artists, especially in Europe and the Middle East, where his later solo performances and his openness about his faith resonated deeply. His global vision, mixing Western pop with cultural awareness, predates the international collaborations that are now common in the music industry. Spiritual and cultural legacy beyond music. Jermaine's spiritual journey stands as one of the defining aspects of his life. His conversion to Islam in 1989 was not a public relations moment but a profound personal transformation. He has described it as a return to peace and clarity, a way to balance fame with faith. In interviews, Jermaine often reflects on how Islam helped him endure personal and professional challenges. It shaped his view of success, family, and responsibility, leading him to emphasize humility and service over celebrity. He has used his platform to promote dialogue between cultures and to encourage mutual respect among people of different faiths. The Jackson family and Jermaine's role within the Jackson family. Jermaine.
Bye bye. Thanks for watching. Bye.